Now, as you've seen at the beginning of the video, there is a lot of trigger warnings for this game. So if you see a trigger warning that might affect you, please do not watch this video. Your health and your mental health is more important than me getting views. And I completely understand if you see something that you don't vibe with. Honestly, there's a lot that I don't vibe with, but I've read the reviews on this game and it's supposed to be really good, so I'm hoping for the best. So we'll go ahead and get started. You're not having a great day as usual. Oh, great. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. But in the middle of your walk, it starts to rain. Typical, but maybe this is just a sign that you should have stayed home today. Yeah, you can always try again tomorrow, right? You turn to head home when. Huh? What was that? There are only a few people around on the street. Makes sense due to the increase of missing persons around the area recently. Well, that and the weather. But none of them react to the sound at all. Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of the dark, dingy alleyway. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward. The ground dampened by the rain makes your steps sound louder and more confident than you actually feel. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the cold, dim light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Oh, look how cute. Huh, guess that should have been obvious. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws on the edge of the box and looks up at you. So cute. And it definitely knows it. You've never had much of an opinion one way or another about cats before, but if they're all like this one, it's a shock that they haven't already found a way to rule the world. You don't think you mind bowing down to a feline overlord. You look around the alley with a small frown. Who leaves a cat in a cardboard boxes these days anyways? Wouldn't they just jump out and leave the box eventually? The cat doesn't answer you. Obviously. It also doesn't do as you suggest and leave the box. It's you, it's just looking at you, as if waiting for you to make the next move. Okay, it's called Do Not Take the Cat Home, but I feel like if we select that, then it's just going to end the game. So I feel like to continue the game, we're obviously going to have to take the cat home. So we'll take it home. You know what? You reach into the box and pick the cat up, holding it out in front of you. Why not? Meow. You're all alone, and well, it's kind of the same boat myself. So you bring the cat close. You didn't realize it was shivering until just then, but it slowly breathes easier as it presses into your chest. Why not stick together, right? At least for a little while. Oh, little purr. You think a little while will probably be more like a day. You'll be responsible and take it to a shelter tomorrow, but for now, let's get you out of the rain, okay? You stop by a small local pet store for some cat food, then head back home. You live in a modest apartment, one bedroom, one bathroom, one you living alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long, even if it is just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you watch for a moment as it curiously explores the new environment. Leaving the feline to its own devices, you set about making the both of you some dinner. You take out the can of cat food and open it with the tab on top. You put some cat food on a saucer and click your tongue to call the cat over to you. It perks up at your beckoning and rushes over. It looks at the plate of food. And completely ignores it. Not hungry, I guess. You try not to let it annoy you. The cat doesn't understand the concept of money to appreciate that you spent your hard earned cash on it. It's just a cat after all. I'll just leave it here if you get hungry later, okay? The cat rubs its body against your legs with a purr. You smile. That's enough of a thanks for you. It follows you into the kitchen as you start on your own dinner. You decide that you have enough ingredients for a sandwich. Bread toasted, mayo, mustard spread, turkey and cheese, and lettuce perfectly placed. Tomato slice? What was that? Ow! You wince as you cut your finger on the knife while slicing a tomato. Stupid. You feel a little embarrassed for such a blunder inside, tossing a knife onto the cutting board. You're about to head to the bathroom for a bandage when the cat hops up onto the counter. It sniffs at the knife and meows almost pointedly at you. Hee hee, don't worry, I'm alright. It's just an. You watch as the cat starts to. What was it? Lick lightly but enthusiastically at the blood on the knife. Oh. At your blood. I mean. You're so shocked that by the time you come to your senses, the knife has already been completely licked clean. The cat sits back staring at you. You feel a little uneasy. Sure, cats are meat-eating predators, but that was a little weird, right? Sure, you're no cat expert, but that was definitely not something an ordinary cat would do. Right? Well, regardless, you're not about to abandon a cat in need while it's still raining outside. Not after all your efforts. You were going to take it to a shelter tomorrow anyway. What's one night of awkwardness? Weird or not, it's just a cat. The rest of the evening unfortunately goes downhill from there. Even after covering up your fingers cut with a bandage, the cat keeps trying to lick at the wound. While you're eating your sandwich, while you're cleaning up the kitchen, while you're trying to watch TV, you gently push it away every time, but you're starting to get worried at this strange behavior. I would too. A cat trying to clean up the blood, like that's weird. Like I know animals that like if they accidentally make you bleed, they'll lick it as a form of apology, but animals that just go straight up to drinking the blood when they didn't cause the problem is kind of weird. What if it's got a taste for blood and thinks you're food now? You're not sure what you'll do if it starts to get more aggressive. You keep thinking about the cat food sitting in the corner, untouched. Wow, the little guy angry. Ugh, come on, enough already. You shove it away a little more forcibly, this time out of annoyance. You feel bad immediately, but because you can do anything, the cat meows sharply at you and dashes off around the corner and into the hall. You sigh deeply. At this point, you're just worried that it's going to take a bite out of you in your sleep. Maybe a vet will have an idea on how to calm it. You can only hope. You don't have many other options left other than tossing the cat out in the rain. After finding a number of a local vet, you pick up your landline and, oh, the lights just went out. Great, just great. Rain must have knocked out the power. You check your cell phone only to find that it's out of batteries. You must have forgotten to charge it before leaving out earlier. The outing had been so spur of the moment that it had no doubt messed with your usual routine. You grab a flashlight and turn it on. It's quiet. It's too quiet. Did the rain stop? But then, why did the power go out? You look outside. The sky's pitch black. What time is it? You turn to check the clock. The cat sits on the top of your digital clock staring at you. Thinking now, you realize the clock shouldn't be working at all with the power outage, but the numbers are still lit up and going completely haywire. The cat stares at you. It's completely still. You'd think it was a statue if you didn't know any better. It's not giving off any indication that it's alive. It's not blinking. It's not even breathing, but its eyes. This isn't normal. You're afraid. You want to run, but you're afraid of letting the cat out of your sight. You consider tossing the cat out after all. But as soon as the thought enters your head, you feel a sharp urge to vomit. Those eyes, its eyes hold you still, even with the flashlight trained on it. Its pupils are large, round, inky pits. The flashlight flickers, and the cat is gone. Fear immediately grips your mind. The silence punctuated with the rapid pumping of your blood in your heart. It's overwritten as your ears slowly start to pick up the sound of static all around you. How is the clock working with no power? You don't know why such a question matters at the moment, but you feel as if having the answer will make sense out of everything that's happening. That order will be restored. But no answer comes to mind. You back away from the clock and feel as if the air itself cools tightly and abruptly in response, like a predator prepared to pounce, but waiting for your next move. But you're afraid to move. You're afraid to even take a breath. But you can't stay still forever, right? Whatever is watching you, you can already feel its impatience. It's too eager. You don't know how you know this, but you can sense it as clearly as if it had whispered, "Let's play." Right into your ear, right into your soul. It won't let you wait it out now that you could, even if you could, or not that you could, even if it did. You can't stay here. You have to run. With this thought, a sudden primal instinct awakens within you, making you tear yourself into a hasty burst of movement, of action. But you're still weak from the fear's grip on your mind. Your legs tangle together under you in your haste, and you fall to the ground. A sharp pain explodes in the center of your foot. At first, you think you've broken your ankle, but something warm and wet trickles down the length of your foot, pulling underneath it. You hear the sound of metal scraping on the tiles after skidding across the floor as if it had been kicked. Winding from your fall, looking up in the daze, and see the object glittering in the strange light coming in from outside. The light pouring in from your now open front door. Thoughts of how, when, who, what in regards to your inexplicably open door screeches to a halt. As your brain finally identifies the metallic object you've been staring at. It's your kitchen knife, and still tinted red from your earlier blunder, but that's not right. Wasn't it completely licked clean by now? You gulp dryly at the pain in your foot. You barely have time to wonder how the knife ended up in your living room floor to be stepped on, instead of resting on your cutting board in the kitchen where you'd left it. When you spy something in the darkness just beyond the knife, it spies right back at you. Oh, I accidentally skipped it. It pads lightly over to a knife as if skipping into light, and bends down to lap at the blood dripping from the blade. Ah! Your senses slowly begin to overwhelm you. The chill of the air as if it starts to suffocate you under its weight. The sound of your shaky breaths discordant against the static now piercing your skull. The dryness on your tongue spreads to your throat. The incomprehensible sight of the stray you've taken in, licking away at your kitchen knife, once again completely clean. The scent of blood from the fresh wound on your foot. Blood! Golden eyes slide up to you as if in response to your sudden realization. Blood. You're hurt. Your foot is bleeding. You're bleeding. You're bleeding. The cat barely moves, shoulders twitching as if it's just considering the act of pouncing forward. Man, this cat. Maybe I shouldn't have took it home. Maybe we should have ended the game early. But you're already on your feet and out the door. You run, or rather limp, down the empty street. The sky is black and bleeding red, but there's a strange light emitting from nowhere that casts everything else in white. The houses, the trees, the road, even you. Everything. Except your blood. You can just barely glimpse the bloody imprints your injured foot leaves in your wake with every impact it makes with the ground. It hurts. It hurts. But you can't stop. You don't stop. Not when the shadows grow around you. Not when you feel gaze of eyes all over you. Not when the road ahead of you is darkened by a long shadow of something behind you. Even then, you don't stop running, because if the cat's right there ahead of you, then what in the world is behind you? Okay, so look behind you or keep running. Okay, so if we keep running, we're running towards the cat. If we stop and look behind us, we can see what kind of danger we're in and see how possibly we can fight it back. So let's look behind us. What can hurt the worst? Huh. Interesting. How very, very interesting. Someone's talking. End in zero. It begins. Wait, it's absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do. Maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost missed it. Meow. I didn't realize that it had changed, so we accidentally skipped a bit. Huh? What was that? Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alleyway and walk forward. The loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground soften your footsteps. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Guess that should have been obvious. It is a cute cat, though. It's an interesting looking cat. It's big, its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. So, you look so familiar, right? Then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a standard black cat to look, after all. This one sure is a cutie, though. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. Okay, so we're gonna hit do not take the cat home this one time. And I think that's gonna be another ending. Sadly, as cute as the cat is, you'd never take this thing home with you. You can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. You are. With rent and bills to pay for, not to mention you need to buy food to survive too. There's no way you could care for a cat long term, right? You can barely afford this little outing on your day off. It wants to go home with me. What to do? Okay. Okay, so we're talking about bills. If we can't afford to feed ourselves, we're not going to be able to afford to feed the cat. If we play with the cat, it's just going to get attached to us and possibly follow us home. There's a secret option. What does that do? You're not ready. Okay. Let's try leaving the cat again. You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up of having someone look after it if you're not willing to commit. What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? You never. Wait, what'd that say? Sorry, see you around, I guess. You stand up, the cat watching your every move. You make it halfway out of the alleyway when the cat meows almost pitifully at you. It's not gonna let me leave. Okay, we're definitely gonna try getting it, ending up leaving it behind, so we're definitely gonna try ignoring it. No, nope, you need to nip this in the bud and get on with your day. It's what's best for both of you. You leave the alley and continue on your way. Wait, what was I doing? In all the excitement and dealing with your furry dilemma, you've forgotten that you still hadn't decided on what you were going to do on your day off. Oh, so there's more to it. Let's go watch a movie. It's been a while since a film came out that looked interesting enough for you to drag yourself to a movie theater. But there's a showing of one such film at the old theater. The movie was a little too niche to be picked up by the new cinema that opened right across the street. That's okay though, you're not exactly a fan of crowds. And nothing ruins the experience of watching a new movie for you more than a noisy audience. Let's go to the old theater. You eagerly buy your tickets from a kind old man in the booth and head inside. It's barren of any trace of other people, and the decor looks like it hasn't changed since the 80s, maybe even the 70s, but it's what you were counting on. You consider buying some popcorn, but can't help but be concerned that everything at the concession stand might be expired. You move on and walk through the halls, finally locating the theater designated on your ticket stub. As expected, the theater your movie will be playing in is completely empty. Perfect. You pick a spot right in the middle, even counting the seats and taking in consideration the gap of the staircase. As you settle in, the dim light fades away, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds. Before the screen flickers on, no commercials or trailer pop up. The movie just begins. Pleased, you shrug and let yourself get immersed in the opening scene. But just as you're getting into the premise, the doors open behind you, momentarily casting light into the room and ruining the atmosphere. You hold in a frustrated sigh. It's a public establishment after all. The place can't exactly afford to stay open if you're the only customer. You try to focus on the movie, but you sense the new presence slowly shifting around the theater before heading in your general direction. Is it the cat? Did the cat follow us? What? You gap in utter belief as the stranger shuffled down the aisle only to sit right in front of you. There's no one else here and plenty of places to sit. The stranger is also unusually tall. Is that who was following us at the first ending? Even with the stadium-like arrangement of seats being on the somewhat steep incline, they're completely blocking your view. Move to another spot, confront the stranger, or leave the theater. I feel like this guy's dangerous. I feel like if we confront him, it's going to end badly. We paid for the movie, so if we leave the theater, then it's just a waste of money, and that's money that we could have used on something else. So let's just move to another spot. You don't want to risk escalating things further. This whole thing is already making you uneasy. Why would they choose to sit right in front of you? Surely they know you wouldn't be able to see past them. Shaking your head with passive-aggressive scoff in the stranger's direction, you reluctantly pick another, less perfect seat in the theater. But, as you settle down, you see a strange person get up. Really? Only to once again sit down in front of the seat directly in front of you. Really? I was nice about not confronting you. I was just trying to let it slide. We are trying to watch the movie, sir, and you are ruining the experience. You're being an asshole, okay? You look around somewhat helplessly as if waiting for someone to silently agree with you about how odd all of this is, or to at least inform you that it was an elaborate prank. But there's no one else here with you. That's how you've always liked it, but you can't help but think that maybe it would be nice to have someone else here if it meant not being alone with this weird jerk. Move to another spot. If we move to another spot, he's just going to follow us again. Let's confront him this time. You hate confrontation. You can already feel your palms starting to sweat at the idea of it. Your throat's closing up and your body's starting to shake. You've already been more of a flighter than a fighter, but you paid for this ticket. You've wanted to watch this movie for ages, and now this total stranger has ruined the entire experience for you. You're all alone in this theater. There's no one who will help you if something goes wrong. But you're angry enough that you ignore the signs of your body begging you to put up as much distance as you can between yourself and this stranger. You stand up, even standing and higher on the incline. The stranger is still at least a head taller than you. The movie continues to play in the background, but you feel as if a hush immediately falls heavily over the theater at your movement, as if you can see the sense the stranger anticipating what you plan to do next. You square your shoulders and force a little bass in your voice. Hey. The effort makes your words come out more harshly than you intended, like a sudden and vicious bark, but you figure they deserved it anyways. You're being a real jerk, you know that? Just what are you playing at, huh? Are you trying to piss me off? The silence that follows your words is deafening. So much so that you glance at the screen only to find that the movie has pause. Your attention is ripped back to the stranger in front of you as they shift slightly, like a small animal trying desperately to anticipate the moves of a predator. You don't move an inch. You don't look away. You don't dare to blink. Instead, your eyes widen as the person's head turns. Then turns some more. Then turns more, beyond what should be possible, neck bones cracking, to face you directly. Oh God, that is terrifying. Maybe we should have just moved to another seat. You can't move. Wide glowing eyes resting above a wider grinning mouth gaze down at you. The stranger opens their mouth and what comes out? It's something impossible to comprehend. Like a cat? Are they saying like neigh, like a cat does or something? The voice is endlessly deep and creaks like a weighty door, foreboding and oddly melodic, alluring. But it also snaps you out of your terrified trance, and before you know it, you're already out the door. You run through the halls of the empty theater, heading for the exit. You feel something watching you from behind, but you're too afraid to look. The exit now in sight, you sprint forward and burst through the doors. You look around frantically and spot the crowded cinema across the street. People, that's what you need, safety in numbers and all that. Without thinking, you rush into the street when a sinking sensation crawls down your spine, compelling you to look behind you. Don't look behind you, don't look behind you, don't look behind you, don't look behind you. So we can either go to the new cinema and watch crappy movies that we don't want to watch, or we can not look behind you. I think this means look behind you because don't is crossed out. Let's look behind. No, last time we looked behind us, it ended the game. Let's look behind us. Despite your resistance, you feel your head turn in to look back on its own accord. While in the middle of the street, You catch a glimpse of a grotesque looking person standing behind the glass door of the old theater, watching you intensely, cradling something in their arms. Something familiar. But, God, that made me jump. Oh my god! Oh my god! A glimpse is all you get as the truck speeds forward and crashes into your body. Oh my god, they was honking to get us out of the way and we wasn't paying attention because of the guy with the cat. Oh my god. You're killed on impact, your body splatters across the road and crushes farther under the heavy tires. Ending 16. Poor screening arrangements. So, last time it started out different, so I'm assuming this starts out different too. You're walking. Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go and what you could do. Maybe even who you can meet. Oh, so this is repeating from the second one. You're so deep in thought that you almost missed it. Huh? What was that? It didn't meow that time. Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground softening your steps. There it is. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Huh, guess that should have been obvious. It is so cute, though. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its paws in front of you on the edge of the box and looks up at you. So cute. Oh, you look so familiar, right? But then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a standard black cat to look, after all. This one sure is a cutie, though. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. Okay, so we took the cat home and we didn't take the cat home. So how about we do the don't take the cat home and then we change it and then we say, well, after all, let's take the cat home. We'll do that ending. See if that's a new ending. Sadly, as cute as the cat is, you never take this thing home with you. You can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. We read all of this. So we're just going to skip all of this and go to the settings. Okay, let's do the on second thought. Take the cat home. We should have tried feeding it and then leaving it. Why you look sad? I just agreed to take you home with me. Well, why not? Right? You barely reach out your arms before the cat eagerly leaps into them and climbs up onto your shoulders. It butts its head into your temple, nuzzling against it. You can't help but smile at the cat's enthusiasm. Let's get you out of here, yeah? We should have tried feeding it and playing with it and then leaving it. On the way home, you briefly considered getting cat food. But that would be a waste of time. Huh? You sure got the odd feeling and move on. You live in a modest apartment. I wonder if The smaller text is actually the voice of like my previous selves telling me what is wrong with me, like what is wrong with the situation that I'm actually doing now. Okay, so we read all of this already. I think this is going to be the same ending. Oh, no. Okay. Do something with the cat. Like what? Oh, okay, so this is different. Let's clean the cat because it's probably dirty. Upon giving it a second look, you realize that the cat isn't exactly clean. Not surprising since up until you it home, brought it home, it's been sitting in a dirty old box. In an alley full of scattered garbage. For who knows how long. You've heard that cats can keep themselves clean, but maybe this one of those times that a little human help couldn't hurt. You head into the bathroom and set things up, trying to remember how to wash a cat. You're definitely no expert, but you think the best way to get a cat clean would be quickly or carefully. Well, that depends on the cat. Normally, cats hate water. If it hates water, then you want to do it quickly, but carefully at the same time. If it's okay with water, then you could take your time and make sure you get everything. And the cat probably has fleas from sitting in the alleyway. So I think maybe we should just try to carefully do it. So that way we don't upset the cat. Because if we upset it, it might try to scratch us and make us bleed. So that way it can drink our blood again. So let's carefully wash the cat. You think carefully is the way to go. Cats aren't always fond of water, so you doubt it'll be a fan of excessive amounts of it. So you pick up the cat and place it gently in the sink before turning on the water. The cat is startled, but ultimately doesn't try to run away. Nice. You lather your hands with some soap and carefully give the cat a thorough half scrub, half massage. After a few minutes, you rinse the cat completely and gather it up in a blanket, drying it. Then you take a brush and carefully run it through the cat's fur. Oh, you should do it, purr-ish, baby. The cat seems like it's in heaven as you brush it. Some hairs are sticking to you, but you don't mind. In fact, quite a lot of fur is sticking to you. Oh no, did we mess up? You try to brush it away, but it won't come off. Guess you're up next for a bath yourself. Maybe we should have saved it where it gave us those options because now we're going to have to go back all throughout the whole story. You try to ignore the fur and finish with the cat quickly, but more hair keeps sticking to you. Your hands, your arms, before you realize it, they're covered in fur that won't come off. It's thick enough that you try to yank it off, but ooh, ow, what? Pain lenses to the spot you tugged at. What is happening to me? Upon closer inspection, you see that the hair is growing out of you. What is that? You can actually feel it now. The fur growing out your back, your neck, your face, your eyes, your tongue. It even grows inside your throat. So I'm coughing to death. What just happened? As you collapse and start to choke on the thickening fur in your esophagus, the cat leans up to lap at the fur growing on your forehead, grooming your hair as thoroughly as you did for it earlier. So cute, but so deadly. You think it'd be sweet if you weren't completely losing air. Still, feels nice at least, to be looked after and cared for in some way, even if just for a little while longer. The cat's careful grooming is the last thing you feel before you're no longer able to breathe. Self-care buddies, ending 15. Wow, that was just... After you give the cat the full spa treatment, it tries its best to return the favor. That is absolutely terrifying. Oh my god. that's going to be all for this video. I might do a second video. If you guys want to see more endings, let me know. And then maybe next time I'll go live on stream to do this. I didn't want to do it live this time around because I was afraid of what might actually show up because of all the trigger warnings. But now I know it's not that bad, so I might just do it on stream, and you guys can also tell me what options you want me to choose. But yeah, if you like this video, just leave a like, leave a comment, maybe subscribe if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. And also just let me know down below if this is something you would like to see more of, if you'd like to see more endings, or if you just want to see me play something else. You can also leave comments down below about different game recommendations that you offer or that you would like me to play. So that's going to be all. So thank you all for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.